Hello everyone. Thanks again for joining me for our most recent video update from North Texas Wealth Management. I'm Cody, and I'm one of the financial planners here at the office. Today, I want to talk with you all about Roth conversions. Now, I don't know about you, but I always think that the last few months of the year really tend to fly by. So December 31st will be here before you know it. Now, I bring that up because every year, the last day that you can complete a Roth conversion is December 31st. And for those of you wondering, that just happens to be a Thursday this year. So for those not familiar with the topic, a Roth conversion typically involves transferring funds from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA. Since funds are moving from a pre-tax account to a post-tax account, the amount you convert will be taxed as ordinary income for the year. Managing the tax impact of a conversion does require careful analysis, so it's always a good idea to review it with us or your tax advisor beforehand. So, if a Roth conversion creates a taxable event, why would someone want to do it? Well, a Roth has two primary benefits. The first is a distribution from a Roth IRA is tax-free and penalty-free, provided that the 5-year aging requirement has been satisfied and at least one of the following conditions has been met. You reach age 59 and a half, become disabled, or make a qualified first-time home purchase. The second reason is that required minimum distributions, or RMDs, are not required for the lifetime of the owner of the account. So some of you may be asking yourself if you should consider doing a Roth conversion. And well, the answer is everyone's situation is different, so it's almost impossible to determine over a video if it makes sense. We would actually have to sit down and have a detailed discussion with you about your situation. But let's go over some of the basic scenarios where a Roth conversion generally would or would not make sense for someone. So, when does it make sense? Well, the first scenario would be when you expect your future income to be taxed at a higher rate. So when we do the conversion, you get to pay the taxes now at a lower rate, and you get to withdraw it income tax free when you think taxes are going to be higher. This can save you a lot of money in the long term. The second factor is if you don't need the money for at least 5 years. Without going into too much detail, there is a 5-year rule that goes along with Roth IRAs. So generally speaking, if you plan to put money into a Roth, you don't want to have to withdraw it within that 5-year time frame. The next scenario is when you want your beneficiaries to benefit from income tax-free distributions if they inherit the account. Now, I will point out that if your beneficiaries are listed as qualified charitable organizations, having a Roth provides little to no additional benefit to them, so that would be an important consideration before doing the Roth conversion. And lastly, when you have the cash to pay the taxes. As we discussed earlier, when the money goes from the traditional IRA into the Roth, it counts as a taxable event and ordinary income for the year. So if you have the cash available to pay the income tax then, that can make a lot more sense than eroding the value of your conversion, taking money out of your IRA to pay taxes, and in essence creating an additional tax liability for yourself. Now, a few final points to consider before deciding on a Roth conversion. The first is if you have to take a required minimum distribution or an RMD in the year that you convert, you must do so before converting to a Roth IRA. And on that point, required minimum distributions are not eligible to convert into a Roth IRA. Generally speaking, converted assets in the Roth IRA must remain there for at least 5 years to avoid penalties and taxes. And finally, if you are or will be in the near future a participant in a program where your eligibility or treatment is income-based, such as Medicare, financial aid, or Affordable Care Act subsidies, increasing income through the conversion could impact how much you pay or receive through that income-based program. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.